was the inspiration. He visited me twice, and we were both reduced to tears on each occasion. He was so agitated that I couldn't get him to relax enough to absorb what I was saying. I hoped that if I wrote it all down, he could read it in his own good time as many times as he wanted, and this would help him to absorb the message. I was in no doubt that Easyway would work just as effectively for other smokers as it had done for me. However, when I contemplated putting the method into book form, I was apprehensive. I did my own market research. The comments were not very encouraging. How can a book help me to quit? What I need is willpower. How can a book avoid the terrible withdrawal pangs? I also had my own doubts. Often at the clinics, it became obvious that a client had misunderstood an important point that I was making. I was able to correct the situation. But how would a book be able to do that? I remembered well the times when I studied to qualify as an accountant, when I didn't understand or agree with a particular point in a book, the frustration because you couldn't ask the book to explain. I was also well aware, particularly in these days of television and videos, that many people are not accustomed to reading. Added to all these factors, I had one doubt that overrode all the rest. I wasn't a writer and was very conscious of my limitations in this respect. I was confident that I could sit down face to face with a smoker and convince that smoker how much more enjoyable social occasions will be, how he or she will be better able to concentrate and handle stress as a non-smoker, and just how easy and enjoyable the process of quitting can be. But could I transfer that facility to a book? Thankfully, the gods were kind to me. I received thousands of complimentary letters containing comments such as, "It's the greatest book ever written. You are my guru. You are a genius. You should be knighted. You should be Prime Minister. You are a saint." I hope that I have not allowed such comments to go to my head. I'm fully aware that those comments were made not to compliment me on my literary skills, but in spite of my lack of them. They were made because whether your preference is to read a book, listen to a program, or attend a clinic, the Easyway system works. Not only do we now have a worldwide network of Easyway clinics, but my book has been a Penguin bestseller every year since its first publication. It even outsold Harry Potter recently in Norway, making it the #1 bestseller of all classes, fiction and non-fiction. It has sold around 6 million copies and been translated into over 20 different languages. After approximately a year of running smoking clinics, I thought I had learned everything that it was possible to learn about helping smokers to quit. Amazingly, 20 years after discovering the method, I learned something new practically every day. This fact caused me some concern when I was asked to review the first edition after 6 years of publication. I had a horror that I would have to amend or retract practically everything that I had written. I needn't have worried. The basic principles of Easyway are as sound today as when I first discovered the method. The beautiful truth is, it is easy to stop. That is a fact. My only difficulty is to convince every smoker of that fact. All of the knowledge that I have accumulated over 20 years is used to enable every smoker to see the light. At the clinics, we try to achieve perfection. Every failure hurts us deeply, because we know every smoker can find it easy to quit. When smokers fail, they tend to regard it as their failure. We regard it as our failure. We failed to convince those smokers just how easy and enjoyable it is to quit. I dedicated the first edition of the book to the 16 to 20% of smokers that I had failed to cure. That failure rate was based on the money-back guarantee that we give at our clinics. The average current failure rate of our clinics worldwide is under 10%.